Petr Yan vs Deiveson Figuiredo was easily one of the best fights of the year. It was just as wild as I expected. Yan came in sharp, using all his tools, leg kicks, body kicks, consistently stand switches, uppercuts, and straight punches. On the other side, Figgy brought that insane knockout power, and you can see Yan had to respect it. And man, I'm so glad that Yan pulled it off. He's now on a 2-fight win streak, and honestly, it puts a smile on my face. Not too long ago, the guy was on a 4-fight losing skid, and people were questioning if he was washed or if he still had it, and I feel like a lot of folks were counting him out. Not so much in this fight, but definitely in the one before, the one against Song. That fight felt like his big chance to remind everyone who he is, and he delivered. Now he's stacking wins and proving that he's still one of the best. And man, Yan looks sharp out there, man. But props to Figgy too. He's been fighting solid competition, but this one was probably the highest level opponent he could have faced. Like, don't get me wrong, Chito Vera is good, especially in the stand-up, but he's not as well-rounded as Yan. Figgy really impressed me in this fight. At one point, he was actually outboxing Yan, which is just crazy to think about. Both guys put on a show, and it's a fight that reminds you why we love the sport. Anyways, let's break this fight down round by round and dive in how it all played out. I'll share my thoughts and opinion on each round as we go. Now, in the first round, Figgy got into the clinch and pulled off a nice takedown, and I'm not gonna lie, I got a little nervous when Figgy took Yan down. I know Yan has some good wrestling, but anytime someone gets him on the ground, it makes me think back to those fights with Merab and Song. You can kind of tell that stuff still kind of lingers with him a bit. Like, he carries some of that hesitation from those matches. However, Yan came prepared and showed how solid his grappling really is, once they hit the ground, Figgy scrambled and managed to get Yan's back, locking in a tight body lock triangle. It was a dangerous spot for Yan, but he stayed calm, defended well, and avoided any serious submissions. Yan eventually found a way out, flipped the position, and got on top. He pressed Figgy against the fence, making it hard for him to move or go for any submissions. Yan landed a few small ground and pound shots to keep control, but of course Figgy being the beast that he is, he scrambled back to his feet before the round ended. And it was a back and forth sequence that really showed how evenly matched these two were. Both guys had their moments, and you could tell already that this fight was going to be a freaking war. And you could tell that Yan clearly won the first round. While Figgy did secure the takedown and control, Yan for a bit, he really didn't do anything significant when it comes to damage. He was mostly holding Yan in place, which isn't enough to take the round. On the other hand, Yan reversed the position, got on top, and landed some solid ground and pound. Even though there weren't huge shots, Yan was the one pushing the action and doing more, trying to finish the fight, which is what matters the most. Control is important, but without damage, it doesn't weigh as heavy in my book. In the second round, Petr Yan really started to find his rhythm, using a variety of kicks to control the pace and distance. He opened up with the side kick to Figgy's legs, mixing in sharp leg kicks to disturb his stance and slow him down. Yan's strategy was clear, wearing down Figgy's movement and take away his explosiveness. He also targeted the body with heavy kicks, aiming to sap Figgy's cardio and limit his ability to generate power in the later rounds. Figgy, to his credit, didn't back down and responded with some dynamic striking of his own. He threw a spinning head kick, and while it didn't land clean, he kind of reminded everyone that how dangerous he really is. Figgy also relies heavily on his hands and pressure, while Yan's combinations show that he can still land despite Yan's consistent activity. He even landed some strong leg kicks of his own, keeping the exchanges competitive. However, Yan's consistency and precision began to take over. He kept piling on the leg kicks and the body kicks, breaking down Figgy's rhythm. Late in the round, Yan showcased his grappling skills by timing a trip perfectly, taking Figgy to the mat. Once on the ground, Yan maintained control, neutralizing Figgy's offense and adding another layer to his dominance in this round. By the end of the round, it was clear that Yan's calculated approach was starting to pay off. His ability to mix up the striking and grappling while staying composed under pressure gave him the edge as the fight progressed. It was a great example of Yan's fight IQ, and if you ask me, Yan clearly won this round. In the third round, Figgy came out with heavy pressure, looking to turn this fight into his favor. He managed to secure a takedown early, but Yan popped right back up like it was nothing. From there, Yan stuck to his game plan, continued to chip away at Figgy. Every strike seemed to slow Figgy down just a bit more. The turning point came when Figgy went for another level change, and Yan timed it perfectly, landing a clean, and I mean clean uppercut that dropped him. Yan immediately followed up, getting on top and pressing Figgy against the fence to control the position. Figgy showed his grit, managed to scramble back to his feet, but then it was clear that Jan had fully figured him out. At this stage, Jan started to apply more pressure of his own, Figgy looked visibly tired, and Jan took advantage. In the clinch, Jan began to tear him apart with sharp knees and short punches. His boxing was crisp, and the dude was landing combinations that kept Figgy on the back foot, and his kickboxing was relentless, mixing up the shots to the leg, to the body. Jan was one step ahead in every exchange, showing that he had fully downloaded the data. By the end of the round, it was clear that Jan was in control. He was outworking and outlanding Figgy in every area, from the striking and the grappling, and his pace seemed to be wearing Figgy down. It was a dominant display of Jan's fight IQ and ability to adjust mid-fight. Anyways, another clear round for Jan. Now, in the fourth round, Jan pulled off a smooth trip to take Figgy down, kicking off a wild scramble on the ground. Figgy wasn't about to stay down though. He fought back hard, trying to secure a takedown of his own, but Jan balance and takedown defense were just too good, and he kept Figgy from getting the upper hand. They ended up clinching against the fence, with Jan controlling the position and making things uncomfortable for Figgy, who was clearly starting to look tired at this point. Even with fatigue setting in, Figgy showed us why he's such a dangerous fighter, because out of nowhere, he landed a big shot that actually dropped Jan. But Jan, being the tough competitor that he is, popped right back like nothing happened and got right back up and got into the fight. From there, Jan started to control again. His ability to mix up, whether in the clinch, in the striking exchanges, or in the control of the scrambles, kept Figgy on the back foot. Figgy was still dangerous in spurts, but Jan's pressure and relentless pace were starting to break him down. By the end of the round, you can feel the momentum was firmly in Jan's favor. It was a great back and forth with both guys showing heart, but Jan's consistent and fight IQ were shining through. Anyways, I gotta give the fourth round to Figgy. I saw the scorecards and they gave it to Jan, which kinda threw me off, to be honest. That knockdown alone should have been enough for Figgy to take it. But anyways, in the fifth and final round, Figgy came out determined to make a statement. Despite being visibly tired, he started to push the pace, and his body shots were much more consistent here. He landed several hard digs to Jan's ribs, slowing him down just enough to set up a bigger shot. The standout moment in this round came when Figgy connected with a huge, and I mean huge, head kick that staggered Jan for a second. And for a second, it looked like Figgy might take over, as Jan was clearly rocked. Figgy's pressure and striking variety in this round were impressive. He mixed his body shots with his powerful kicks and kept Jan guessing. While Jan managed to stay composed and fire back, Figgy definitely had the upper hand in this round. His relentless pressure and ability to land more damage shots gave him this round, in my opinion, leaving no doubt that he wasn't going down without a fight. Overall, I had Jan winning the first 3 rounds and Figgy taking the last 2. I was actually a bit surprised when the judges scored it 50-45 for Jan, because in the later rounds, Figgy was really coming back strong. He was landing the harder, more damaging shots, especially with those nasty body shots and those head kicks, man, that rocked Jan a few times. Damage trumps all in the scoring, and that's why I gave Figgy the 4th and 5th round. Honestly, watching this fight just confirmed something I said in a video that I made a while back, and it aged so well. Actually, scratch that, aged like fine wine. Figgy showed in those later rounds why he's such a dangerous fighter, even when he's tired. He was relentless, landing more impactful striking, and kept Jan on his toes. But credit to Jan too, man. He stayed composed and showed why he's still one of the best. It was a great fight overall, but I definitely saw it as more competitive than the 50-45 scorecard suggested. Moving on, I noticed that Jan called out Merab, and honestly, I don't know about this one. I'm not really interested in a rematch there. The first fight was way too one-sided. Alright, so I noticed that Jan called out Merab, and honestly, I do not know how I feel about that one. I'm not really interested in a rematch there. The first fight was way too one-sided, and Jan's slow start just doesn't match well with Merab's non-stop pace. If they run it back, I feel like it's gonna be the same fight all over again, just a copy and a paste of the first one. Personally, I think Jan versus Umar for a number 1 contender spot would be a way more exciting fight. That's a matchup with some real potential to be a fun, high-level scrap. Now, as for Figgy, I would love to see him go up against Corey Sandhagen next. Both are coming off losses, and they're both absolute dogs in the cage. You just know that if they fight, it would be absolute fireworks from start to finish. If you book those two together, it's guaranteed to be a banger. Overall, that main event was insane, but what did you guys think of the fight? Let me know in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like always, guys, I'll see you guys on my next one.